All right, so today we're going to take a deep dive.
A depth dive.
Yeah, we're going to dive deep into this situation that's happening right now with the return of Palestinian residents to northern Gaza. And we're basing this deep dive on a report from CBS News. The title is, Israel lets tens of thousands of Palestinians go back to northern Gaza for the first time in over a year as ceasefire holds.
Right.
So we're talking geopolitics, human lives, and that fragile hope for peace in this one story. It's a lot to cover.
It really is.
It really is. So the headline fact here is that Israel has allowed tens of thousands of Palestinians to go back home to northern Gaza. And they haven't been able to live there for over a year.
Right.
So why'd they have to leave in the first place?
Well, you got to kind of rewind back to late 2023.
Okay.
That was a really intense period of fighting between Israel and Hamas.
Right, and Hamas being...
Hamas is the militant group that governs the Gaza Strip.
Okay.
So during that time, Israel ordered this mass evacuation of northern Gaza. Over 1 million people were displaced.
Wow.
Almost half of Gaza's population.
That's a huge number of people.
It's a massive exodus. Think about the logistics of it all,
Yeah.
the human cost. I mean, it's just incredible.
So that their return now must signify something. It can't just be...
Oh, absolutely. It's definitely not just a random act of kindness.
Yeah.
This return is very much tied to this current ceasefire and the complex politics at play.
Yeah.
You know, some might interpret this as Israel trying to de-escalate tensions, a gesture of goodwill, even perhaps a subtle signal that they're open to negotiation. Who knows?
Oh, and the article also highlights, you know, those personal stories. Like we see families packing up all their belongings into cars and trucks and heading back to a place that they probably thought that they'd never see again.
Mm-hmm.
And there's even one story about this family with a newborn baby that they're bringing home for the very first time.
That's amazing.
It's pretty incredible.
It really highlights how these aren't just like abstract political moves, you know?
Yeah.
These are people's lives we're talking about, homes, entire worlds that have been turned upside down.
Yeah.
And you think about the uncertainty that they face, it's just immense.
Yeah.
To rebuild your life after being displaced for a year, knowing that everything could just erupt again at any moment.
Right.
The psychological toll has got to be enormous.
And the article makes it clear that the ceasefire, while it's holding for now, it's definitely not a guarantee of lasting peace.
No, this raises like this really crucial question. Is this return, you know, a sign of real hope? Is it a step towards lasting peace?
Right.
Or is it just this temporary pause in a conflict that has like really, really deep roots and complex dynamics?
So how do we even begin to answer that?
Well, we have to look beyond just the immediate situation and consider that larger context. We need to think about what are the underlying issues that keep fueling this conflict?
Okay, yeah, so what are they?
Well, we're talking decades
Okay.
of territorial disputes, political disagreements, deep-seated resentment on both sides, the ongoing debate over Palestinian statehood, the settlements in the West Bank, the security concerns for both Israel and Palestine.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to think about the roles of external actors. All of these things just kind of get stirred into this volatile mix.
And what about, you know, attempts at peace in the past? Haven't there been tons of negotiations?
Oh, there have been countless negotiations, agreements over the years, but they often falter.
And why is that?
A lack of trust. You know, the political will isn't really there.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times there's a failure to address the core issues.
Yeah.
To achieve a lasting peace, it requires a fundamental shift, I think, in the mindsets of everyone involved.
Right.
A willingness to compromise, to really commit to finding a solution that addresses the needs and concerns of both Israelis and Palestinians.
So where do we go from here? What can we even realistically hope for in the coming weeks and months?
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
It's entirely possible this return is that small step towards a brighter future. Maybe it's a foundation for further dialogue and compromise.
Okay.
But it could also just be a brief respite, a pause before the cycle of violence starts up again.
So it sounds like the only thing that we can be certain of is uncertainty.
Precisely. This situation, it's fluid, dynamic, complex, and it demands our attention, our critical thinking, and I think most importantly, our empathy. Pay attention to how this all unfolds. Seek out diverse perspectives and don't let the headlines dictate, your understanding of the human stories at the heart of this conflict.
Yeah, and I think I would add to that, look beyond just the mainstream narrative.
Yes.
Really dig deeper, explore independent media and academic sources to get a much more nuanced perspective on what's happening. That's how we really learn and grow.
I completely agree.
That's some incredible food for thought. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll see everyone next time.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.